Hello and welcome to Let's Dance with Charlotte Elizabeth. That's me. So this podcast is going to cover everything from dance, health, fitness. I will include how to prepare for your first dance for your wedding or using that kind of scenario for special occasions. There will be planning hen parties and ideas for planning hen parties, but the main focus of this podcast is dance. I am the owner of Feel the Beats UK, and I'm going to get you all moving. So let's get on with the show.
Hello. So welcome back. And this week's episode might sound a little bit different. The reason being, we're currently in the process of packing up the flat. We are hoping to be moving into our first home towards the end of the month, and we decided to pack the desk away at the weekend. So I've now lost my desk space for recording podcast, which means it's not that easy to now do my proper webcam and microphone setup. So unfortunately, you're back to the dodgy quality. Luckily, my Mac is still pretty decent quality-wise, but if you're listening to them on a run, you will notice kind of a fluctuation in quality because got a fluctuation in the tech. So yeah, just a little precursor that if you listen to the last few episodes and like, oh, this sounds really amazing, and then you come to this one and you're like, oh, that's why. Like my microphone is available. It just, yeah, I haven't worked out how to do it now that I don't have a desk, and I'm having to do it from the sofa with my laptop on my lap. So there's just not enough spaces for wires, etc. to this. But anyway, so today's episode, I want to talk to you all about moving, but in particular, my little pot of gold. Now, I don't mean gold as in money. I mean the little pot of gold that is collagen. Now, if you're anything like me, you've probably seen it buzzing around on social media. Lots of network marketing companies are selling it, lots of health brands are selling it, and you're like, seriously, what is this thing? What does it even do? Because that was me. I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole, got a little bit overwhelmed. Um, and yeah, I am with a couple of network marketing companies, and I decided to go with Viva. The reason I went for Viva is ours is a capsule form. Now, from the bit of research I've done, and I didn't go too far into it because overwhelmed, like trying to retain the information. However, what I found was ingestible was kind of going to be the best way. But for me, it needed to be something really simple that could fit into my morning routine, that I could kind of do it without having to think about it and kind of just crack on with my day, that it wasn't going to be a massive effort. And I found that a lot of companies, it's sachet form. You've got to blend it with water. So, whilst yes, it's a simple thing to add into your day, but if you end up against the clock in the morning or suddenly time runs away with you and you're like, oh my God, I need to go. Like I'm in work for 8 o'clock, although I actually arrive at 7:45. Like I'm always early. So I know that there's a certain time by which, by my standards, I feel I'm late. If I've then got to faff and blend something in water, I'm probably not going to do it. I'll go, oh, I'll do that later. A capsule form, I can have a quick swig of water with that because I only need enough to take the capsule and crack on with my day. And that's what I've been doing. So Beaver give a 60-day pot. So essentially 2 months worth, because most things like this, you need a bit of time to see if there's any difference. And being honest, I wasn't sure that I was actually having any difference. I was taking it, but I wasn't necessarily aware that anything was changing because I hadn't really monitored when I'd started um compared to now. So I know I've been more consistent with it certainly in the last month or so, but I couldn't really tell you when I started. I definitely wasn't consistent to begin with. Um but since becoming consistent with it, the big thing that I have noticed, I ache less from pole dance. So I go to go to pole dance class every week. I get bruises. I bruise easily, but actually my bruises are getting better. Um, I'm aching less. Like I'm recovering a little bit quicker. Obviously, I'm in my early 30s. However, it takes a bit longer to recover. So that's been my big thing. I'm aching less. Um, my skin doesn't feel as dry considering I don't really have a skincare routine. Um, and I'm sleeping. I'm kind of putting it down to this magical pot of gold, which I'm gonna have to replace. I'm getting near the end of the pot. I'm like, oh no, I'm running out. But yeah, like I was really struggling, certainly with my shoulders, particularly with pole dance, but also my job can be quite energetic. As you know, I'm export manager, so I'm lifting quite a lot. Like I've lifted quite a lot today. And I'd done pole yesterday. At the time of recording this, this is a Thursday. I know it goes out on a Friday morning. So I went to pole Wednesday evening. I was lifting a lot in the warehouse Thursday. I'm not feeling knackered because it's obviously giving my body the nutrients and the minerals and all that jazz that it needs. But yeah, I'm kind of recovering a little bit quicker. Um, my hair, there's definitely something going on with my hair. I'm not entirely sure, but like I say, I haven't really been monitoring it, but I am going to monitor it kind of from now, certainly when I get my next batch, to be able to clock the changes. Like the big one for me is the panda eyes. Like I was taking magnesium tablets to help because I quite often, regardless of the amount of sleep I have, I look like a panda. I've always got dark circles, but I don't have dark circles, which means I'm not having to wear makeup to hide myself looking like a panda. Um, so that's kind of my little magical pot of gold that if you're wanting something that is super simple to add into your day and you want to give it a go, let me know. And it also brings me on to how much movement are you doing? Hmm? 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 How much movement are you actually doing? Um, so yes, I go to pole every week. Uh, and a semi-active job with up down from my chair and lifting and stuff. But beyond that, I'm not very active, which is why my line dance classes, my line dance classes are a 6 week block because people don't want to commit to a longer thing necessarily at the minute. Life is a bit up and down, not really sure what's going on week to week. A 6 week block is okay because you go, right, doing this thing for 6 weeks, I get the replays, and then it's done. And if you don't want to do the next block, you don't do the next block. Or if I don't want to do the next block, I don't do the next block. Like I'm doing this next one because I want to do. I quite enjoyed block one. It was a test to see how it went. I want to do another one. So we had our little break and we start again next week. So I will obviously put the link in the show notes so that you can grab your space. Because we need to get moving. Like the weather here in the UK is horrible. Like I'm looking out the window right now and it is doing nothing but rain. And the last thing I want to do is be able to go outside. Like if I had to go to pole right now, like I'd go, obviously, because I love pole. But the thought of having to go out in the rain, in the dark and the cold, ugh. Line dance from home, I haven't got to go out in the wet and the cold. I haven't got to spend any more fuel. I haven't got to pay any parking. I haven't got to allow extra time for getting a parking space. All I need is a little bit of space, a laptop, a phone. I mean, if you're fancying, you can connect it to your TV, connect it to your TV, and log into Zoom, which is the click of a link. Yes, you need to download the Zoom app first, but once it's downloaded, it's the click of the link from an email. Boom, you're in. If you really don't want to, you can have your camera off. Um, I'm supposed to have it on for insurance. And obviously I can then see if you're doing it right, if you're about to hurt yourself, I can then adapt the lesson as we go. But I get it that some people really don't want their camera on and really can't have their camera on. But as long as I can hear you, so that I can communicate with you, we can we can cover ourselves elsewhere. But if you really, really, really don't want to be on Zoom, you don't want anyone to see, you don't want me to see you, just have the replay. And that's the beauty of it. Whether you come live or not, you get the replay. The perks of coming live, obviously, I get to help you. I get to make sure you're not hurting yourself. You get to meet other people, get to have a laugh. 9 times out of 10 at my expense because I completely forget my own choreography. Like, we get to have a little laugh and a little boogie. It's 30 to 45 minutes. It's nothing. Would have taken you longer to go out to the gym. In the time it probably would have taken you to get prepared, get in your car, get there, park and get in, we're probably halfway through a line dance class. It's super simple. It's £30, which in the grand scheme of things at the minute is not very much. It's essentially £5 a week, which most coffees from like say Costa or Starbucks or stuff, they're about that. So it's a coffee a week. So if you didn't have one of them for 6 weeks, you could pay for line dance. It's worth thinking about. But like I say, it's a 6 week block. I'm going to put the link in the show notes. And that was today's kind of little thing. You'll have noticed a bit of a change in kind of the podcast, that it's not just dance related. There is going to be more life because I'm not just a dance teacher. I do have the network marketing side of the business, which is the health, the wellness, and I am here to help you bring joy and confidence to your life through movement and small daily habits like taking a magical collagen pill. So I hope you've enjoyed it. You will have to bear with on kind of some of the tech and stuff at the minute as I continue packing. You all know I've moved because the background will change. But yeah, get moving, look after the inside and the outside, and maybe, just maybe, I will see you online for line dance. Speak to you next week.